I know this was a botch. I know this was a blooper, but this pathetic attempt from Younghoe Koo last night, this was a microcosm of the 2025 NFL season. Matter of fact, this was a microcosm of the last 2, 3, maybe even 4 years in the NFL. I am very concerned with the future of this league. Obviously, the NFL's not going out of business. By some miracle, the league continues to set record high ratings on television. More than likely, the miracle can be identified as gambling. Perhaps that's one of the reasons that leagues continue to embrace the disease of gambling, even though it's to their own detriment, even though it sacrifices their integrity. Because without gambling, I don't know if the NFL would continue to be this popular. The product on the field sucks. I mean, it sucks. That does not mean there aren't good games. The first 2 games on Thanksgiving Day, I thought they were exceptional. There were a couple of weeks in November where it felt like the NFL was improving. Games were competitive. The outcomes were decided on the final possession of the game. After 2 months of dropping stinky turds, felt like the NFL was finally turning a corner and presenting a quality product. But then, we were instantly reminded this past Sunday of how far the NFL has fallen. There were 10 games on NFL Red Zone Sunday afternoon. 5 out of those 10 games, blowouts. Average margin of victory Sunday, 12 points. Most of the close games, it featured teams that no one gives a shit about. Who cares about the Falcons and Jets? Who gives a damn about the Saints and Dolphins? I'm a diehard Saints fan. I don't care about this flaming ass fire. At this point, we all know what the main problem in the NFL is. Uncle Casey has been talking about this for years now. Recently, Thomas Patrick Brady has been talking about it, or as friends and family prefer to call him, Tom. The biggest problem right now in the NFL, massive decline at the quarterback position, the most important position in all of sports. There are starting quarterbacks in the league today that would have been lucky to be backups 10 or 15 years ago. Shedeur Sanders would not be a starter in the year of our Lord 2015. Hell, he might not have been drafted. This past Sunday, Trevor Lawrence was being celebrated for his great game. This man is amazing! He went 16 of 27, 229 yards with 2 touchdowns. Woohoo! Yes, yes, yes! Um, 10 years ago, that would have been considered an average performance. Completing 60% of your passes, that was damn near below average. Today, performances like that are celebrated. There's just no denying the fact. The NFL has seen a serious decline at the quarterback position. The problem is, I don't think there is a solution to the problem. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Let's go and get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Fluffernoggin. I am not a big snacker. I don't eat a lot of junk food. If there is one time of the year where I break this habit, football season. One of my favorite snacks to eat while I'm watching NFL Red Zone on Sunday afternoons, beef jerky. Problem is, a lot of beef jerky, it tastes like you're biting into a flat tire. Good news is, I no longer have that problem because I started buying gourmet beef jerky from Fluffernoggin. Now you're probably thinking, what the hell is a Fluffernoggin? Fluffernoggin is gourmet beef jerky that's 100% made in the USA. You don't have to worry about consuming foreign cows. These cows are homegrown. Each recipe from Fluffernoggin is handcrafted with the perfect amount of seasoning. It's the first beef jerky I've ever tasted that literally melts in your mouth. Fluffernoggin comes in a variety of flavors, ranging from mango habanero, Korean barbecue. They even have a flavoring of craft beer. Or, if you're like me, you'll just go with the original style flavoring. Fluffernoggin beef jerky is the perfect stocking stuffer for Christmas. They are running a promotion through the holiday season, so click the link in the description below. Use my promo code BTL30, BTL30. Receive 30% off your first purchase with Fluffernoggin. One excuse I often hear about the decline of quarterback play in the NFL: we have a younger generation of quarterbacks replacing all these legends. It's not fair to compare. Give them time. These young guys are going to be great. That is definitely true. It's difficult to replace the greatness that we watched in the last 10, 15, 20 years. But when those legendary quarterbacks were young, they were also replacing legendary quarterbacks. They were replacing guys like John Elway, Dan Marino, Warren Moon, Brett Favre, Troy Aikman, Steve Young, Joe Montana. Take a look at this graph. This graph shows 4 key quarterback metrics from 2010 to 2025. 2010 was during the prime years of Brady, Brees, and Manning. Aaron Rodgers was just entering its prime. Now, as you can see, as soon as these guys retired, every single metric saw a massive decline. Now, it's understandable to see a decline immediately, but here we are 5 years later, which means most quarterbacks in the league today who replace these legends, they should now be in their prime. Yet somehow, the numbers are actually getting worse. The question is why? Tom Brady blames it on the lack of development. A lot of people blame it on the current system in college football, which kind of ties directly into Tom Brady's theory that young quarterbacks are not being developed. It's hard to develop mentally when you're constantly changing programs. Hard to develop mentally when you're allowed to transfer because the asshole coach refuses to play you. That does not develop work ethic. It develops laziness. It develops entitlement. The good news for the NFL, that problem can be fixed. You can regulate college football. You can put restrictions on transfers. But there is one problem that the NFL can't fix, and I think this is the real reason for the decline of play in the NFL. There is no way to make the game of football safer outside of playing flag football, which is never going to happen at the professional level. There's just no way to make the NFL safer. This generation of quarterbacks, this is the first generation that we are seeing after the concussion scandal. Now, on the surface, the NFL was able to survive the concussion scandal in the short term, but I think we are just now witnessing the long-term consequences of the scandal, and I think it will get significantly worse. Think about it. The level of skill in the NBA has drastically improved. I don't watch a lot of Major League Baseball, but from my understanding, the level of skill in Major League Baseball has improved. Meanwhile, the level of skill in the NFL drastically declining. Why? Maybe, just maybe, the NFL is no longer getting the best athletes. In the last few years, the participation in youth football has declined 13%. Since 2006, high school football has declined 17%. During the 2022 school year, it was the first time in decades that less than 1 million high school athletes were playing football. If your talent pool is shrinking, it stands to reason that the quality of your product would also shrink. But KC, more kids are playing flag football. Yeah, but it's not the same. It's easy to be a star quarterback when the defense isn't allowed to apply pressure. It's easy to throw in the pocket when the defender isn't allowed to plant your ass in the ground. It's easy for receivers to run across the middle of the field when they know they're not going to get hit. For the most part, I think concerned mothers are pushing this decline that we are seeing in football. Well, husbands need to step up. It's time for men to be men. They need to tell their wives their son belongs on the football field. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you know who says that? A dude that's never been married. A dude that's never lived with a woman that he didn't call mommy. When you're married, you pick your battles. Most men just want peace, and it's impossible to have peace when you're living with an upset woman. It's impossible to have peace when your wife is living in a constant state of anxiety, worried that her son is going to become a vegetable. I would imagine for most husbands, fighting over football just ain't worth it. 99.9% of these kids, they're not going to make it to the NFL. Hell, the vast majority of these kids won't make it to the collegiate level. If you're the husband, is it really worth the fight? Is it really worth constantly arguing with your wife over a game, over a child's game? If you look at the numbers, vast majority of husbands are saying no. This is a serious problem for the NFL. Again, they're not going out of business, but what does the future of the league look like? The product we see today is already the drizzling shits, and it could get significantly worse. There's no way to make the game safer. Helmets can only do so much. Pads can only protect you from so much impact. When a 275-pound linebacker who runs a 4.5 40 hits you in the middle of the field at full speed, there's just no way to protect you. At this point, we all know the risk. We all know the dangers of concussions. We know about CTE. If you play football, you know the risk that you're taking. And it looks like a lot of parents have decided football is not worth the risk. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys later.